Fresh squeezed takes, NFL edition. You know how we get down. We got a couple topics here. We'll go through them and get some fresh squeezed takes. What we're thinking on the topics. Number one, Chiefs undefeated. State of the Chicago Bears. I'll tell you the state right now. It's not good. And then Jets to make the playoffs might be dead. Let's go back. We'll come back to that, though. Chiefs still undefeated, Alex Monaco, 17-0.
Yeah.
9-0. Pete gave us an unbelievable stat that no team since like 2006, the last team to be undefeated won the Super Bowl. So where are you at with the Chiefs? They're undefeated. They get a blocked field goal to win the game last week. It seems like every single week they need something to happen. It breaks their way, whether that be a penalty, whether that be Patrick Mahomes making a play that seems unbelievable. It goes on and on and on. They go to Buffalo this week, though.
Woohoo!
Talk to me about where you're at with the Chiefs, because I know exactly where I'm at.
I want to check on our producer how to go away for 72 hours after that blocked field goal, first and foremost.
Yeah.
That Broncos breakdown, which I saw Orlovsky break down, Ben, and I'm sorry, but that looked like 3 slow drips on the left side to add up to an all-out block. Like, I thought that was just, this has got to be a result that needs to happen. It seemed like a slow drip.
Yeah. I feel like Jesse Pinkman in Breaking Bad when he's like, can't keep letting him get away with this. Like,
it's true.
When does it end?
But
this
bringing
week,
it back, I know, bringing it back
this
to
week
this,
it ends.
It's so you mentioned from a betting perspective, the line already flipped.
Yeah.
Right. It opened with the Chiefs as favorites.
Chiefs
now they're
open
dogs,
-1,
which is
going
huge
to
in the
Buffalo
betting
next
world.
week.
That basically tells you sharps immediately jump on the hometown team for this week. I'd like to think it ends. Sean, the block field goals got me feeling like Santa Claus might be real. I don't even understand it. They find so many unique ways to win, which sounds a little bit like a broken record. Good teams find new ways to win. You kind of heard Dan Campbell's speech the other night when they came back from the Texans. When you're not on, great teams still find other ways. That's exactly what this KC team does. I guess you got to lean Buffalo here. I'll end up clicking a button.
But it's not when they're not on. They haven't been on
all
a
year.
Vast majority of the games they've played. They haven't been on. It's not like there's games where they've been dominant and have been dusting people off. Every single week they look mediocre and then find a way to get it done.
Well, offensively. Defensively, they look unbelievable.
Yeah, defensively they look great. Yeah.
Like Spags just doesn't get any credit in first page of the KC Press or whatever's over there, the Gazette. Whatever it's called. It's like Spags is literally doing God's work on the defense. Mahomes has more interceptions and touchdowns. They don't have a blemish. I'd like to think you're bringing me towards Buffalo's side here. I know you're on the sharp side. We do know, though, I guess history-wise, if Mahomes is getting less than 3 or a dog, you don't want to bet against it. At some point, the pendulum's got to swing.
Yeah, 12-1-1 as an underdog of three or more, I believe, or as an underdog overall. I think that's the number ATS, and I believe the one loss is to Tom Brady in like the AFC Championship or something.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that. Look it up. But if it's
I
not
remember
12,
that game.
if it's not 12-1-1, it's right around there.
It's
he's been really, really good as an underdog. I think regardless, this is a spot where I don't know how granular we want to get into it with like as a bettor.
Yeah, we don't have to.
But like I'm looking at this. There's just spots in betting for me where you just have to take a stand. The Chiefs going to Buffalo is a stand I have to take. The way Buffalo has been playing, the way Josh Allen has been playing, if the Chiefs go up there and get a W, I'll just hand you my paper and then I'll go about my business the next week. Public is going to be all over the Kansas City Chiefs. It's like 80% of the spread, 80% of the money. But, yeah everyone's going to want to bet on the Chiefs.
It's one of these things where if you do catch the program in time, Sean is nailing it as logical and non-emotional as you possibly could.
And if they win this week, they got to go 17-0, right? 10-0. That's their hardest game on the schedule easily.
To put a button on it, because Josh Allen's gone toe-to-toe with Mahomes many a times, and he's one of the guys that isn't afraid of this team. Mentally, though, are we at a point with Kansas City this particular week that Buffalo mentally is at a disadvantage at all? Or you actually think this is a great This was a boxing
No,
match.
He is the one guy to beat him against the spread. It wasn't Tom Brady. That was
Okay.
3.5.
It was Josh Allen.
Yeah, it was Josh Allen, but Mahomes backdoor covered against Brady.
Yeah.
Great
Look,
point.
listen.
Great point.
I think there's two teams in the NFL mentally that aren't scared of the Chiefs.
Burrow and Allen.
And the Bengals and Allen and the Bills.
Yeah.
Clearly what I saw last year with the Ravens, they mentally weren't prepared to deal
Without
with
question.
the Chiefs and Pat Mahomes. I don't think anybody else in the league can step up to the plate.
Yeah.
Josh Allen and the Bills and Joe Burrow and the Bengals, I believe, are not scared. This might be dating myself, going way back, but national championship, Clemson played Alabama.
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson played quarterback.
The Hunter Renfrow game winner.
Yes.
All right.
And the classic, this team lost before the game even started because they were so terrified of Nick Saban and Roll Tide and all that. Clemson wasn't. They had seen them previously. They had lost to them, I believe, the year prior. They got another opportunity. They'd seen them. They felt them. They felt like they'd compete. They ended up getting the W. I think at home, that crowd is going to be ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
It's the late afternoon game. I have to bet the Buffalo Bills.
Do we have to go?
I mean,
That would be a all-time tailgate.
win a few bets this week in some basketball and hockey, and you can spend. And just to give you some betting splits, so 79% of the bets are on the Chiefs plus 2.5 right now. 80% of the money is on the Chiefs as well, plus 2.5.
No, everybody's the public is gonna hammer the Chiefs.
2.5.
All they're gonna say is Chiefs, Mahomes as an underdog. I'm taking that. I got 1.5 minus 115. I'm already in.
You're already in.
I'm already in. Bills money is down. So
Speaking of in, are you in on the interim as you get to it?
yeah,
New guy in town. I'm fired. I just want to sit back and listen.
Shane Waldron was very bad as the offensive coordinator for the Bears. So I don't want to call him the scapegoat because he deserved to get fired.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a little scapegoat to this
Well, Eberflus is a defensive
firing
guy.
for the Chicago Bears. Yeah, and the defense overall has played well.
Yeah.
Now, this is the thing here. The head coach keeps his job, and then he fires the coordinator. But a lot of these mistakes and the culture around the Bears is poor too. It's not like everything else was ironclad and the offense was bad.
Yeah.
It's everything is bad and the offense is bad. So them getting rid of just the offensive coordinator, they haven't scored a touchdown in like 60 drives. So
Is this true? Just to interject, the McCaskies don't want to fire Eberflus because they don't exactly like to spend money on two coaches at once. Type people?
100%.
That is infuriating.
So
you're talking about a cheap owner then?
We're talking about the McCat. Yeah, So look, there's different owners in sports, and let's talk about this for a second. There's an owner like Steve Ballmer where he made all his money and then bought a team. This family, all their money is the team.
That is important contextually.
So they owned the team 100 years ago when they got it for $50K or whatever they got
It was
it.
$100. It was $100
Yeah, so
when
like
they
They bought
bought
the
him.
team for $100?
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
like when Calvin Coolidge was president.
right. So this is the difference, right? So when that is your main source of income, and when you write $10, $12 million checks,
That
they're
hurts.
coming out of like almost like your Chase checking account. You know what I mean? So it feels a little.
That explains so much.
But it hurts a little more, right? So
they're not a wealthy family.
they're
on
not
their own.
they're not the owners of Walmart coming in and buying
Right.
the Broncos where they have big money in other spots, and this is more of like a toy thing, right? So that's one thing to keep context.
That's huge.
in when you're thinking about the Bears. Now, the Bears have done this multiple years in a row where they keep a lame duck coach because they don't want to pay the next one. They kept Nagy for an extra year. They kept Fox for an extra year. Now they kept Eberflus for an extra year. And it actually, the biggest thing about it that makes me sick to my stomach is clearly Eberflus needs to get moved off of last year.
Clearly.
You don't move off of him because you don't want to pay his deal out and then hire another coach and pay that deal But you're essentially picking him over your franchise quarterback
Essentially.
to make sure that's a stable situation. So,
Well, if you have turnover at quarterback, it just didn't make sense to not have turnover at head coach. And then you're pairing rookie with defensive coach.
They've
That
done
never works. Rarely
Monaco,
works.
they've done this three quarterbacks in a row.
Dude, this
They
is
did it
like,
with Trubisky. They did it with Fields. They did it with Caleb Williams. So that's where I'm at. I don't.
The positive is you're a Ben Johnson away. I don't want to say like Cliff Kingsbury, but maybe him. But Ben Johnson, you are a innovative offensive coordinator mind away from this getting correct. Because unfortunately, you did the opposite of the Chargers. You got all skill position players and didn't really get much better on the offensive line. Built outside in like we're playing Madden, and here we are.
Yeah.
If you build inside out, you let go of Keenan, you let go of Eckler, what the Chargers did, which is what Harbaugh would have done, by the way, in town if you guys got him. I thought it was a race between the Chargers and the Bears. You guys would be the Chargers this year.
Correct.
And Caleb would be
Correct.
He'd be in the conversation for Rookie of the Year.
Correct.
This is insanely frustrating.
Are you ready to move on?
Yeah, I'm sort of, not really, because the next topic's the Jets.
Yes.
One more thing. Bears currently ninth most valuable franchise in the NFL.
What? Sell the
$6.4
team.
billion.
1031
Listen, man,
exchange to
this
quote
is-
real estate.
Chicago.
Save some taxes.
Chicago has the worst ownership in sports.
I'm going to need you as a
It goes
shot at Chicago
McCaskey's.
Flow to start some. We need to start like a revolution. I'll be the first signature on your petition.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous.
Oh, I mean, yeah, you're late to the party, baby. This is
This is
how it's been in Chicago forever.
I feel like suffering with you guys, but I'm way too late to suffer.
Yeah. Let's move over to the Jets.
Oh, God.
Hey, no, and I shouldn't say "oh God" because
Let's make this quick.
I was with
Quick
you.
and painless.
Because I was with you.
Like
I told
the
you.
dentist.
I bet it over 7.5 wins.
Yeah, we're in
So
this together.
we're in
actually
this together. We're grinding out.
You're not getting group text dragged by multiple people, plural, but
Man, football is a lot more simple than it gets made to be. If you can't stop the run, you're gonna get gashed. If you can't protect the quarterback and you can't get push up front, you're not going to be able to do things on offense.
Jets can't do
That's
either.
exactly what the Bears have been doing. They haven't gotten any push up on offense. They have no coaching. And on the defensive side of the rock, the Jets have been getting gashed on the ground, and it opens up everything else. Give me your thoughts on the Jets. Finally feeling a little better, they go to Arizona and get absolutely throttled.
I feel like our guy Frank down the street with a different organization, just ready to eviscerate this lifeless, no leadership, no accountability. I hate to blame Rodgers, but when there's clearly not a leader of men in that locker room, you got to go by age. And if it ain't the punter Thomas 55-year-old Morstead, it's got to be Aaron Rodgers. And it doesn't look like this guy wants to really have confrontation in the locker room. This, to me, looks like a team that's insanely talented with no togetherness, to keep it brief. No one really calling anyone out. I mean, the way Sauce handled his above-the-hips tackle on McBride, who's double his size, he just deflected, didn't take any accountability, and talked about how he only had one missed tackle out of the 20 in the group. You take that down to elementary school in a group project, that's fingers pointing at everyone on the playground. That's where we're at with this team. There's no leadership. There's no togetherness. And Rodgers, quite frankly, is at a point where he's hurting his individual legacy with how bad this is going. This is like the antithesis of Brady in Tampa, Montana, and Kansas City. This is as bad as it gets, my friend. I am so upset. Forget about the money I lost and no one getting Christmas presents from me. This is just incomprehensible. This is not the Giants, who just don't have the personnel and are actually kind of playing hard, at least on defense.
That's true.
You put Dable as the head coach for this team, and you could flip the records. I tweeted. No one liked it. I still tweeted it. Rex Ryan coaching, Tom Brady quarterbacking. This team's 8-2. That's how lackluster the leadership is and the direction. Bart Scott said it took one series when a man went down when Rex was coaching to flip from a 3-4 to a 4-3, and they had never even played a 4-3. Make some adjustments.
Ooh.
One drive.
Wait, say that again?
Bart Scott goes on Jets postgame and says, when we lost a key player, I forgot the player he mentioned, Rex switches the formation on a dime mid-game. They end up making the necessary adjustments, winning the game. We're basically sitting here watching Brick with the mind of Brick from Anchorman. Steve Carell didn't have a thought in the movie.
Leadership is absolutely
Now I'm sweating, dude.
quintessential when it comes to NFL winning.
There's
a
no
winning
turning
culture.
it around. Is there turning it around? Do you even want? Now
Well,
I'm so bitter. I don't even want him to
The
turn it
silver
around.
lining is that they have the easiest schedule left in the NFL. So
Laying
they-
3.5
could-
against the Colts is so disgusting.
They could run off a bunch of wins, and hopefully they get some help from some other people. I just want to get to 8 wins. I don't care if they make the playoffs or not. So that's where I'm at there.
They'll get 8 wins.
Anthony
for you.
Richardson back in the fold too against the Colts. So we'll see. That's a positive.
So
for
no
the Jets.
39 versus 40-year-old.
Yeah, that's a positive for the Jets because he will turn the rock over.
When you saw me on the Jets ship party of 1, not sunk but slowly sinking, did you see it happening? Like, did you see me?
I told you I'm on. Well,
No,
I
but
bet it
being
before
on them
the
to the
Patriots.
playoffs and over 7.5 is a different thought. I literally thought at plus 590 they were going somewhere.
Yeah.
Did you see me making an emotional purchase, slowly sinking?
Yeah, I mean, you were taking on a little water, but there was the bucket was big enough that we could have got the water
Get
out.
the commercial, please.
You know what I'm saying? That's it.
Man, that's it.
Fresh squeezed takes at the Juice Bar, NFL edition.
I'm in Spain minus the F.